not being late to stream. Shocker.
Big shocker. I have it running on my phone. My pahone.
Your palm husk?
Yep, my palm husk.
Awesome.
Visiting Alternia is so fun.
Yep, totally not scary at all. Well, I have no reason to fear. I'm totally a real fuchsia. For real, for real. Do any blood drinkers, like, try to pretend they're a different blood color? Do any trolls try to pretend they're a different blood color? Like, I know Polipa does, but only for a tiny bit.
I have an OC that does.
Is
I
there
know
any
that
canon
Carcat.
examples?
I know that Carcat tries to keep his blood neutral so that nobody knows what he is. But he doesn't like pretend to be a different blood color than he actually is, aside from, oh yeah, I'm a major high blood, for all you know.
Understandable, understandable.
There's not really any canon examples, but I like to headcanon that there are some trolls that do that. I know that in Hiveswap, a human cosplays as a troll. To put it one way. So that they can survive, but you'll see when you get to Hiveswap Act 2. It might be Act 1. I don't know.
Imagine a hit after every ending. Jesus, are you okay?
Yeah. I need something physical to draw with.
Me forgetting I have my own stream open. Mew and I be opening soon.
Mew and I be not opening soon. I'll be right back.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to stream. If you're here, anyway. Let me open up Friendsim. Look at that. This background music kinda. have to do zebra.
I've returned.
Hello.
Hello.
And see, we have Vicare, I want to say Polipa, and zebra.
Oh god, not zebra.
I know, right? And if we can get the time, we could get to Cuprum and Follicle. Just seeing Trizza on the billboard back there. Oh yeah, I need to share my screen to you.
Awesome.
Hello, Soup.
Hello, Soup.
The soup ever. Chicken noodle soup. Alright. Puts on gaming. The weird and sudden urge to play Roblox.
I mean, I'm sure there are, like, Hiveswap and Homestuck, games on Roblox.
Hiveswap, I'd be surprised. Because it's not nearly as popular as Homestuck is, from what I've seen.
Yeah, but there's still a lot of people who know about it.
Mike Boof, who likes to say they know more than Hussy, who doesn't even know about it. It's so funny to me. Alright. We've already read this last stream, so we're good. Would you like to voice him, or would you like to voice the narrator?
I want to voice Tigora.
We've already done Tagora.
No, fuck. I missed the best one.
Yes, you did. It's very unfortunate. I was actually kind
Can-
of sad that you weren't here to do Tagora with me. My voice for him was subpar.
Um, I think I'll do Vicare.
Okay. I don't know why, but I always imagine him sounding like specifically Record Ragnarok Tesla.
I don't know what that sounds like.
He doesn't have a canon voice yet because he hasn't been animated yet, but he's gonna be animated in season 3, which is coming out soon. Next year. It's probably best for you to stop trying to predict what's going to happen to you at this point. Everything that's happened so far on this planet has been kind of chaotic. In fact, you're ready for something more familiar. You head back to the site of your abandoned spaceship. Sure, it's smashed beyond repair, but it's a little slice of home. Maybe at least one or two pieces of it are fixable. You march off in what you think is the right direction. But when you get there, you're not alone. A little guy in a hat and big goggles is standing there, gazing at your spaceship, maybe assessing it. As you watch, he breaks off a couple gears and stuffs them in his pocket. Hey! You clear your throat loudly.
Boyd, galloping gravy! Why, I've never seen the likes of you before! What strange wonders in the heavens have rained upon us today?
You quickly lose any indignation you were building up. He's smiling at you, and his words seem at least somewhat admissible. Maybe you got this all wrong. Maybe this is the next person you're gonna get chummy with. You cut right to the chase. No point in beating around the ground leaf covering. That's probably what they call it on this planet. You let this guy know you're the proprietor of the spaceship he's stripping, and you're in mighty need of a new friend.
A friend, eh?
I know, it is very fitting, Soup.
A bosom companion, a pal about town? I've seen nary a Tom and Dickus or Harry around these parts who might fit the bill.
You're kind of trying to imply that this guy could be your friend. Is it too late to say that now? You try to imply it with your eyebrows.
As for me, day-to-day matters here on Eternia interest me not. For I only care about hurtling at great speeds through the boundless expanse of the cosmos. That's right, space. It is space flight that consumes my every waking thought and all my ardor. As in accordance with my duty as a future Alternian Crusader, of course. No oxygen, no wind, a total vacuum. That is the life for me, alright.
Well, I mean, I guess they do have oxygen. I guess I never really thought about that.
They have lungs. Flying in space above the atmosphere, not within the realm of gravity's purview. Wouldn't have it any other way.
Right. You get the feeling you're missing something. This guy seems really defensive about his interest in spaceflight. Like, maybe he's trying to say something totally different. Whatever it is, his internal conflict clearly takes precedence over your issues. He seems like a great candidate for a friend, despite the fact that his voice sounds like it belongs over a newsreel about World War II.
I have just one query for you, sport, if I may be so bold. Do you also like spaceflight? Do you yearn to see the moons shining above, the clouds whipping by as you chase and tease the impish western wind? And also keep going up past that into space?
I actually can't remember.
I remember.
Well, I forget if it's like a deal like Amnesia, where if you say you're interested in it, they're like, well, there's nothing to talk about it with you then.
Do you want spoilers?
Could you just say one or two?
Okay. So if you want the bad ending, tell him you love spaceflight. If you want the good ending, tell him you're not so sure about spaceflight.
Great, so it is like Amnesia.
Well then, we are in total agreement. Two kindred souls traveling hand in hand in a glorious yet inevitable future of conscripted service in space. Which is, as I've already made clear, the thing I most definitely and positively desire. So it seems we have nothing more to discuss.
I like his mouth shape in that one.
Me too. Toodaloo.
It just says Toodaloo on the end screen too. Tell him you're not so sure about spaceflight. His eyes widen. You see them sparkle?
Ah, I see. You're an individual with more sophisticated palate. A real connoisseur of the buoyant arts you are. Someone like you could never be satisfied with the anemic affair of traveling through the inky blackness of the galaxies. I believe a jaunt to my hive is in order. Let's get a wiggle on.
No wiggle on. There was a lot going on there, but you understand that he wants you to follow him. The friendly guy takes you to a building where all the rooms seem to be balanced on spindly-looking stilts. The hive soars above you up into the sky. If you guys wanted to look at that. He gestures to a little platform attached to a pulley system, like a rudimentary elevator. It brings you up into a small, dark room. I'm assuming it's that one. His house is pretty much what you would have guessed. The walls are covered in star maps and pictures of spaceships. You notice that many of them have cheery slogans splashed across them, saying things like, "Explore the galaxies because you're required to fulfill your duty to society," and "Enlist, travel, make friends, don't get cold." Your new friend doesn't seem too happy as he looks around the place.
Just the hive for a dedicated spacecraft enthusiast, isn't it?
You nod. You're not sure what this is leading to, but no one ever went wrong relying on non-specific and plausibly deniable agreement.
Who am I fooling? You've rumbled me, potential new chum. What you see before you is a collage of falsehoods. I'm nothing but an avatar of baloney. In truth, the myriad temptations and desires of space do nothing to tickle my biscuit.
Tickle his biscuit.
The thought of participating in the glorious eternal conquest give me the screaming memes. My interest lies in something a little lower down.
Well, that sounds normal. He reaches up and peels back one of the posters. Behind it is another poster, this one showing a view of clouds in the night sky.
Behold my shame. The truth is, I long to toss and turn within the grasp of Mistress Gravity's sweet fingers. To traverse the sky, can such a thing be? Imagine flying within the confines of Alternia's very atmosphere. Defying the very convention of what we all know to be true. Instead of down, up. Instead of flying, soaring. Or instead of falling, soaring. Can you imagine? Can you see it before you? Could you ever dream of the existence of such a flying machine? I remember the good ending and bad ending for this one too.
I vaguely remember it. He wasn't my favorite, especially since Tagora's here and he's basically awesome.
Tagora outshines him absolutely.
He's getting mogged.
Yeah, he's getting mogged by Tagora.
I think it's this one, right?
That's the bad ending.
Yeah.
I brought you here to show you my truth. And you treat me to mockery. An airplane? A plane that floats in the air. Flying machines are a serious business. I think you should leave.
Real. Fel probably would have liked that ending because it actually made sense.
Yeah.
Tell him you've never heard of such a thing.
Ah, but the future is ours to build, my strange-hued and unhorned comrade. What do you think? Does it excite you? Do my ideas rattle your buttons?
My buttons are rattled. You can't help but notice that he's referred to you as a chum and a comrade, but friend hasn't made an appearance yet. Do synonyms count, or is it just a tick of his speaking style? You look as earnest as you can and nod vigorously. You're almost positive this is the thing he really wants you to express interest in.
Ah, the truth will out. You and I share this furtive passion for the indulgences of the air. A dialogue between a troll, a flying machine, and the stars. But further away from the stars than we would be in a spaceship. I cannot stress enough how different of a thing this is.
You can't decide between nodding and shaking your head here, so you furrow your brow and do your best to look thoughtful, like maybe you're contemplating the differences. This fellow's demeanor towards you is definitely shading to the more temperate climate zones. However, certain physical needs are starting to assert themselves. You're still pretty banged up from your previous adventures, but right now the aching of your stomach is screaming for attention. You humbly ask your friend-to-be if there might be any chance of getting a bite to eat.
But of course. Why, if I'd known you had a rumbling in the old digestion bladder, I would have shut my appetite sweet. Time for a good old nosh. Ay, Yamaroni, what ho! Now, how should we obtain the victuals? We could venture into the great unknown, which is to say, out of my hive. Or we could stay here, beholden to whatever twists and turns Lady Fate has in store for us in the nutrition block. What do you say, new timer? I remember this one as well.
I think I do. You tell him any food he has in the house will be fine. Surely staying here will get you fed more quickly.
No problem at all, my fine and fervent fellow. However, I believe two kindred souls such as ourselves have more ways of communicating than mere words alone. I think I'm grasping the meaning behind your request. The signal from your transmitter is pinging my cranial receiver. I can see what you're truly after is food for the soul.
You definitely meant food for the body. You look for an opening where you might gently correct your new buddy, but he seems to be working himself up to say a lot more things.
The delectable nutrition of what a troll's truest being craves. The sustenance of thought, of imagination, of desire. That which nourishes the self better than the finest grub noodles.
Is that like ramen or is it just normal noodles?
Yeah, it's ramen. Sorry, hold on.
We're actually making pretty good time on this one.
Okay, that one fucked up. Okay. Art, passion, science. You must have a hankering to see my flying machine design sketches.
Despite your troubles, you can't help but think his enthusiasm is kind of sweet. You nod weakly. You make one last attempt, indicating that food might strengthen you to fully appreciate his work.
No need to worry. I am fully confident in your ability to take in my glorious food. blueprints. You have shown yourself to be quite the sturdy noggin and discerning ganderbold. I would welcome your input.
No, you won't. Warmth blooms in your stomach. It feels nice to hear him compliment you. You're not sure what you've actually done to earn his praise, but you definitely don't want to ruin this now. Maybe seeing his designs will be fun, even on an empty stomach. Maybe it really will nourish you on a level that will help you forget about the prosaic, earthly nourishment you thought you wanted. You tell him you're in.
Not so fast. That which I am planning to reveal to you is what I keep closest to my torso pillar. It's not that I don't trust you, my footloose and horn-free cohort. But I think I would like to trust you a little more before vivisecting myself. And displaying my bleeding organs before your penetrating gaze. Which is a metaphor for exposing my portfolio. Might I trouble you to participate in a small trust trial?
No problem, you tell him. Your bud insists you make yourself comfortable while he gets a few supplies. After a few minutes, he returns with a fistful of fabrics in different colors. Oh yeah, Soup, what do you think of the background music? I think it's pretty neat.
Here's what's been bouncing around the old brain box of mine, buddy-o. I'm going to tie this blindfold around your face, and then I'm going to give you some instructions. And you're going to try and locate the case where I keep my treasured sketches. If you can find it, it's gotta mean we trust each other deeply.
It is very whimsical.
Like two wings working in unison to achieve liftoff. If that's how wings work. I'm still figuring out the principles of the matter. What a romp! Are you up for it?
It's too late to turn back now, and really you don't want to. It's kind of a relief to have him tell you what you can do to earn his friendship in plain terms. Well, as plain as this guy's terms ever get. You give him a thumbs up.
Now we're on the trolley.
He quickly ties the fabric around your face.
The time is upon us. Time for the inaugural flight of a deepening bond. Time to nudge our fledgling companionship out of the nest and see what happens.
Your new friend starts to direct you around the room.
To the left. No, my left. Sorry, okay, I meant your left. And now onwards to the glorious future that lies before us.
You smile weakly, doing your best to follow his instructions. He sounds happy, so you must be getting somewhere.
Almost to the doorway. 3 steps forward, if you would be so... Wait.
Crash. You stagger backwards from the impact. You hear yourself wheeze. The shock has totally knocked your lungs out of commission. Your chest jerks in tiny contractions as you gasp for air.
Oh, beans. Ding, darn it.
There's no pain, just an intense pressure focused on the center of your face, right around where you ran into something face first. You pull out the blindfold and you hear footsteps, which probably means your new friend is rushing over to help. He gets the blindfold untied and his face swims into your vision. He looks utterly gobsmacked.
Why, I'll be a horn-based scrub food. Everything copacetic, new pal?
You put your hand to your face and touch something wet. Sure enough, when you pull your fingers away, they're covered in blood. Your nose isn't gushing or anything, just sending out a couple rivulets to let you know it is having a bad day. It's not so bad. You tell your acquaintance this, but he doesn't look any less horrified.
Shivering stratocumuli. All this time I've been testing you, to see if I could place the tender gift of trust in your declawed little hands. And here you've bestowed upon me the greatest trust of all. Knowledge of your non-standard hematological attributes. I am truly honored, flabbergasted. Absolutely pushed to the brink of rationality by such a display of faith. Never mind the trust trial. You deserve to see my sketches. Just wait here. Be back in 2 shakes of a baby Barbie's hindquarters.
Bobbies. Is that like a sheep? Or a goat?
Yes. Sheep.
Okay, hold on. Let me write that down.
Goats are just called goats.
Oh. Why are they just called goats?
Mm.
Okay, let me... Beast. They call a lot of animals beasts.
Yeah.
Because right now I have Purbeast, Squeak Beast, Bobbeast, Cluck Beast, Oink Beast, Hoof Beast, and that's it. You sit down on the floor again, wiping the blood off your face. You're not going to question the stroke of luck you've been shown. Why, if you knew bleeding was the key to his affections all along, he could have encouraged some blood from the sites of your multiple injuries. But no matter, you sniff the last of the blood back into your nostrils, tasting metal at the back of your throat. When your almost friend returns, he drops a big stack of papers onto your lap. You page through the designs. The first few are rudimentary, mostly variations on spaceships, with little notes like, how do make it not reach escape velocity, and less jet fuel, shape could be less aerodynamic. But as you keep going, the designs get pretty interesting. One seems to rely on some big rotating sails to achieve lift. Another shows a light frame body attached to 4 jointed wings. You briefly wonder what he plans to make the wings out of before you see a note stating that these are dragon wings. A follow-up scribble states, flapping mechanism, how to soften rigor mortis. But hang on. You take a closer look at the machine's frame. This guy's sketch is pretty detailed. The frame doesn't seem to be made of wood or aluminium as you expected, but smaller individual shapes slashed together with some kind of cord. Maybe it's just a macabre aesthetic, but you think it looks like bones? You look back at the other designs. Now that you look at it, the sails in this one have a texture that might be leather, or similar. The sketches themselves are picked out in a variety of colors, not dissimilar from some of the brand new blood colors you've discovered lately. Oh boy, you've been down this creepy alien road before. Using your lightest, most jocular tone, you question the bone shapes. You soften your words with a big, not freaked out smile.
What's that? Well, I'm not a construction professional, you know. Gotta make use of what's available. Only cold low bloods and grubs, of course. Not an ounce of insurrectional spirit in this fellow over here. Fear not, unhorned one.
These wacky cultural differences. You just misunderstood. You take refuge in your old standby of nodding and smiling. It's none of your business what body parts this fellow uses or doesn't use to make his Wright brothers' transformative fan works. Friends aren't for judging people's use of corpses as construction materials anyway.
You know, when you crash-landed on my planet, I had no idea what to think. Ikare, oh boy, you've really shut the balls now. That's what I told myself. Telling an alien about your flying dreams has ruffled the kitty and no doubt about it. But now that we're here, and you're having a looky-loo at my sketches, I'm thinking it might have been right for us to meet all along.
Hi, Fel. You might have actually liked the other endings on this one. Oh yeah, duh, it's fictional. Silly. You okay there?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't see it. Perhaps the work of the capricious Madame Destiny?
Surely he's about to say that you are friends. You can almost taste those sweet friendship-affirming syllables coming from his mouth. You're just seconds away from that coveted F word. Or are you? Maybe you've misconstructed everything. You look back down at the sketches. Bones in this one, bones in that one. He says these plans call for the bones of aliens like him. At least if you understood him correctly. But they don't really look that different from, well, the bones you're more familiar with. Your own bones. Your bones, which have already gone through a lot today, and maybe seem to be in a kind of harvestable condition, if one was so inclined. You clear your throat. You say. He's not, he's not in the market for these materials right now, is he, like, right now? The friendly guy doesn't understand your question. You're not going to push it, but you do risk a quick glance at yourself, then back at him, then back at yourself, just to see if he's checking out the stuff, so to speak. When you look back at him, he looks aghast. Oops. It's okay, Fel. I surprisingly was able to nap without missing the stream.
Heavens to biscuits! Is that what you think of me? You think I'm the start to start taking people's body parts all higgledy-piggledy? As if there aren't plenty of thoughtlessly discarded rib cages to work with.
Yes, thoughtlessly. Totally. I know, right, Fel?
If that's the type of gent you're looking for in these parts...
Yes, because I'm looking for someone to harvest my bones.
I'm afraid I'm not the aggressive heartthrob you're after. We can't all be the macho, bloodthirsty, romantic hero type.
I'm really concerned what they see as romantic or not.
Ready to whip out our organ-harvesting tools at a moment's notice. I thought we could be friends, but now I see you're looking for something different. My apologies. I think it's best if you go elsewhere.
Aw, he's crying. You want to correct the misunderstanding, but you're not fully sure what the misunderstanding is. This guy doesn't seem to be in any mood for friendship right now. You hang your head. Looks like this was all just a big waste of time. Oh, you look so sad. Alright. Time for the true ending. Go out and look for food. Yeah, his design is cute. From your budding chum's words, it sounds like he himself isn't sure if there's any food in the house. Best to risk it and go outside. You tell him your decision.
Top choice, buckaroo. Foraging is how I while away most of my time, after all.
Hi, Ash. Welcome. Dang, he's your favorite so far? Interesting.
There's just one small matter to trouble the old brain power. If we're venturing out into the unknown yonder, we should obtain some chow from Ilusis as well. He'll be a real grumpy Gustav if he goes too long without his nosh.
What is his again?
I don't know.
Oh, I just noticed that he has, like... Is this faux fur?
I didn't notice that either.
This is my first time actually noticing it.
Anyway.
Dang, you both fell asleep. That's kind of funny. You draw yourself up proudly. It's taken a lot of bizarre run-ins and harrowing close shaves, but you know all about Lucis's. You inquire about Gustave, was it?
Oh, what a card you are. No, my Lucis. I called him the Canary.
He whips out a photo. It shows a smaller version of himself, his horns nothing but stubs. A far too big pair of aviator goggles slipping off his nose. Standing behind him is a large white, foul, big, scraggly wings folded back against its body. White fowl, oh. Isn't that like a bird?
Yeah.
Oh, emu. I'm an idiot. I should have read more. You want to say an emu? Whatever it is, it's definitely not a canary. Its beak touches the top of your pal's head, but something that might count as affection.
He's not the persnickety sort.
Welcome back, Soup.
All kinds of bugs and leaves will tickle his fancy. Shall we away? Shall we greet the horizon that rushes forward to meet us with astounding grace? Shall we give ourselves to the current of time's great river?
Sure, you tell him. You can leave the house. It's getting a lot easier to pay attention to only the words this guy says that actually make sense. You kind of enjoy his way of speaking, though. If nothing else, it gives you the feeling that he's really excited about this food quest you're going on together. Your alien pal leads you back down through the pulley system and outside again. The trip is not so easy on your bruised ribs. The thing about walking is, when you walk, your body moves. You've had better times, is all you're saying. You indicate as much to your companion. Of course it's an interdimensional bookstore.
Oh boy, I hear ya. Moving while attached to Alternia surface is the worst kind of hooey. The moment when autonomous flight is invented trembles ever closer to the present. Can you hear it approach? The wail of distant klaxon, the call to adventure. It beckons us forward through the years, a golden thread stretching ever onward to that glorious inevitability.
That's not what you meant, but his excitement cheers you up a little. Maybe you'll feel better in the future when someone invents flight on this planet. Certainly by that time you'll either be further along in your healing or dead. Either way, thinking about that future brings a little rosy glow to your heart. Do they have planes by Homestuck in Alternia?
No.
Oh. You ask your buddy where you're going next.
I don't think so, anyway. The world is our bivalvular sea critter.
That was hard to read. I understand.
We'll go wherever the wind calls our names.
Great.
But if it's a short-term answer you're inquiring after, there's a specific plant the canary likes to eat. It's got white petals and leaves as red as a troll's most lurid desires. Could you give a holler of your bulbs full and something of that persuasion?
You agree to keep an eye out. You continue trudging along beside him, wincing whenever your steps jolt your injuries. Maybe a little conversation will help distract you. You ask your new friend what got him so interested in flying in the first place.
What could be better? Up there, free of worldly concerns. The wind in your face and the horizon at your back. Seeing the continent spread out below you. Actually, yeah, I think they do have that some kind of flight, because of Eridan's ship.
Oh shit, you're right! Fucking sweet, man.
Seeing the continents...
Oop.
Seeing the continent spread out below you. Finally giving that your personal aesthetic is appropriate for the given circumstances.
You chew over this one for a minute or two. It seems like what really makes this guy tick is the travel and adventure thing. Or maybe that's just what you're getting from his general demeanor, and pretty much everything he's said up until now. You're so nervous to bring up anything that might make him dislike you, but in the interest of bonding, you forge ahead. Aren't there, you say with apprehension, maybe some similarities between flying and space travel? Like maybe being in a spaceship could satisfy some of these urges?
What? There may be some superficial similarities to Trick the Common Troll, but in essence, the blood pusher and soul of each as different as night and day, as a mountain and a ditch, a star and a mud puddle. Don't get a fellow wrong, space travel is fine. Well, it's the only way to satisfy our bloodthirsty and nearly immortal overlords. And I look forward to such a time when I can be of service.
Is he telling the truth there?
I don't know. In the eternal millstone grind of intergalactic conquest. But it's missing the punch, the pizzazz, the kaboom, the trunk beast's honk of it all.
Is that, like, for elephant?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
Let me write that down. Guys. I swear I'm normal. Front east. Okay. Just as you'd feared, you stepped in it now. You're struggling for a response when out of the corner of your eye you spot a cluster of white flowers. Relieved, you point them out to your companion, who races over to gather them, but when he holds one up, you can see it has blue leaves, not red. Your shoulders droop. Seems like all you're doing is disappointing your buddy, who has been so nice to you. Or at least that's what you think you've read between the lines of his confusing speaking style.
Fear not, my smooth-headed compatriot. These are not Lucis radulings we sought. But this plant is people chow. What I mean to say is, we can eat it. Since we are people, it's food for people, not food made of people.
Yeah, that's like literally everything else, though.
To be clear.
He comes back with a fistful of the flowers and hands you one of the blue leaves. You're not at all sure that food is... You're not all that sure... God damn it. You're not at all sure that food that's safe for your buddy will be safe for you as well, but at this point, you don't have much to lose. Besides, with the way your stomach is groaning, it might as well be a perfectly seared steak. You put it in your mouth. Chewing on the leaf, you feel even more affectionate toward this guy than before. You were worried this trip was just turning into an excuse for him to run some kind of household errand, but he really did find you something to eat. You are desperate to find some way to show him that you understand his interests. You want to connect to him on a deep soul level. Anything to get him to look at you with that treasured glow of friendship in his eyes. Whenever he mentions space travel, he talks about how it's something that he has to do, some kind of necessary obligation. So maybe there's a reason he's fixated on an activity that is kind of similar, but just a little different. Maybe he doesn't want to do the required thing, the space conquests, but doesn't have it in him to rebel entirely all the way. Maybe airplane flight, or whatever similar thing he's envisioning, is a compromise between what he has to do and what he wants to do. A balance, like all must find, in order to live as an individual in a society that shapes one's desires from birth. You cautiously open your mouth, heart pounding. You venture to ask your pal if he maybe would rather not satisfy the demands of the bloodthirsty overlords. If maybe a part of him wants to get into his flying machine and will leave for real.
That's...
He seems taken aback. Maybe you should have never said it. What a huge mistake. You probably pushed his friendship out of your reach for now. For good now. Panicking, you point to the side, yelling that you see a big field of white flowers in the direction. Your potential friend leaps to action, seemingly also glad to be given a reason not to answer this question. He races forward in the direction you indicated. In a matter of seconds, there's a yelp and your new acquaintance vanishes. Instantly, you realize your error. You didn't look where you were pointing. While walking, you unwittingly came close to the edge of a large cliff, which your companion has now disappeared over. You race to the side, your stomach flooding with fear. This is absolutely the opposite of what you wanted. You look down in horror. Your friend now looks approximately how you felt when you first crash landed on this dark planet. He's conscious, his face frozen in shock, but one leg is twisted underneath him in a nasty way. You may not be familiar with his alien anatomy, but you're almost positive that it shouldn't look like that. You call out to him in distress. Sure he's going to castigate you for your mistake. The strangeness of his language won't make it hurt any less to lose this guy's trust forever.
What ho! Kalay!
His voice floats up from the ground below. Weak, but somewhat jovial? Is it possible he's not angry?
Oh, what joyous happening! Oh, delight for the body and spirit.
Yo, his house kind of looks fire, I can't lie. Cause like, look at that bridge.
No? Did you see? Did your being absorb what occurred before your very visage?
I think it's Visage.
No, it's visage.
I've never heard it said it like that.
I flew! Soared through the air. Just for a moment, but it happened. An ecstasy like none I've ever known.
You hesitate. Is it really possible that he could be taking this so well? That maybe your big fuck-up was a step in the right direction after all? It's definitely a little worrying to hear him celebrate a dangerous fall, but none of that matters if you can secure his friendship at last.
My strange associate. Come on down here. We will celebrate in grand fashion this eve. How did you know? That a brief sojourn through the unfettered air would bring me such joy. You're a fine fellow. And a truly superb friend.
Your heart lifts with joy. He said it! Of course, now you have to find some way to climb down a cliff with your messed up ribs. Not to mention figuring out how to transport someone with a broken leg back to the house. You're not really sure if that's possible, or when the adrenaline that's got you this far will give out and force you to succumb to your own pain. But with a night full of difficulties ahead of you, you couldn't ask for a better balm than knowing you'll face them hand in hand with your friend. Assuming he didn't hurt his hands as well. No matter. You did it! Victory! It'd be funnier if he's doing the Peter Griffin death pose.
It would be. But that would be awkward to do from that angle.
Yeah. That's interesting, Phil. It's good to hear. I mean, as long as you're enjoying it, that is. Homestuck is like a pretty big deal, so it makes sense. Once you start to understand it, you kind of see it more. Because your brain's like, oh, that's the thing. Alright. Now we're on volume 5. Woohoo. Walking! You sure are doing a lot of that. You're. Of course, I fuck up the first words. Ah. Walking. You sure are doing a lot of it recently. Back on Earth, you never got near this amount of exercise. You're gonna be so in shape when this is over. Provided you still have all your limbs attached and your bones uncrushed. You, you could probably come up with safer ways to travel, a taxi or some sort of bus system, but you don't have any money and you can't read signs. Also, you are routinely covered in blood and bruises. So, walking it is. Tired as you are, your feet still carry you toward friendship.
I am not voicing Zebra. Well, I could, but also I would hate it. I would hate every second of it.
Alright, chat, which one are we doing first? I mean, it'd probably make sense to do Zebra then, so I can voice him.
Yeah.
Green. I mean, reading is difficult for most people, out loud anyway, but I'm also a little bit dyslexic, so that doesn't help it that much. Um, because I did also really want to voice Polipa.
I can voice Zebra.
I can do his voice too if you're willing to do the narration bit.
It would be slightly I think it would be slightly difficult for you to voice Zebra. I have like a specific way that he says things in my head.
Okay.
Kind of sounds like a neckbeard.
Yeah, I imagine him speaking like, "Oh, princess," that kind, that kind of Nick Beard.
I don't think he'd be like, "Oh, princess."
Obviously, he wouldn't say it out loud. And that's just like the general idea that I think of when I think of him. It's alright.
Oh, shit. As usual, the streets are hopping, just bouncing around like an overactive bunny rabbit on Easter morning. Up ahead, at an intersection of the streets, is some kind of night market. Well, every market on Alternia is a night market.
I'm trying to day market. That'd be hell.
That would be hell. As previously stated, you are broke, but there's nothing wrong with a little bit of window shopping. Who knows what kind of awesome stuff you'll find. You can find out a lot about culture from their stores. You are so intent on thinking positive thoughts that you are nearly at the market before you realize that quite a few people are coming towards you in the opposite direction. Some of them are running, actually, and screaming. Looks like that something has gone down violence-wise. It's not a stampede. You aren't in any danger of being trampled and the street is wide enough to just step aside and let the crowd pass by. Or it would be.
Yeah, I understood what you meant, Ash, as somewhat relating. English is my first language, but I was insinuating that if people are reading out, even if in a language that they do know, it can be difficult when it's said out loud, not just normal reading.
You get a brief, furtive glimpse of a pair of focused yellow eyes under a low-pulled hood. Then a hand grabs yours so tightly, the tips of your fingers go numb. With a rough yank, you are pulled into the flow of the crowd. The troll girl, who has a hold of you, speaks quietly and quickly. You have to lean your head in close to her to hear.
We are on a date. You're my mate Sprit, or my moirail, whatever you want. We're just a normal couple out for a night on the town. We're gonna go catch a movie and get some soft serve grub cream. You feel me?
Wow, okay.
The pervy sub bag. Her theme isn't too bad.
You stop abruptly and someone smacks into you from behind. You go down hard and your hand ripped away from the girl's. She gives you a fierce glower of disappointment.
Fine. Just more people letting me down. I'll deal with this on my own. I've done it before.
She takes a running leap for the alley wall, scampering up and onto the roof like a squirrel up a tree. You are left looking down at the smudge of violet blood she left on your palm. An emptiness fills you at the thought of a friendship that could have been if you'd only kept your chill.
Leap of unface. Imagine killing a violet blood. That's some itch.
I have a question.
Yeah?
Would you be willing to read the rest of this one on your own and I just voice Zebra on the next one? Because I need to find something to eat.
Okay, I guess.
Sorry, I know this is shitty. Anyway. I'll be back.
Alright then. Play along and hold hands. Your heart beats so hard you can feel it in the back of your throat. You adjust your grip a little to make your hand easier to hold. In response, you get a squeeze, like she's thanking you. You match her pace, a surprisingly difficult feat considering how short she is. Behind you, people are still shouting. What the heck happened back there? Someone died. You figured that, but that's not exactly rare for Alternia, is it? You've seen way more dead people here in the last couple days than you've seen throughout your entire life on your planet. You tell the troll girl that you thought that was just kind of normal here. Normal, sure, when low bloods get killed. Natural order of things, right? But with high bloods, it's different. Personally, I don't give a shit about the natural order. Doesn't matter what the job is, I'll take it. Oh. Oh! So a high blood is dead. And you are currently holding hands with the troll who did the dirty deed. She chose you to help her lay low, i.e., she made you her accomplice, i.e., you are now her friend. Helping someone carry out a cold-blooded murder is a super friendly thing to do. Surprisingly, this is not the first time we do this. But what had she called you? Her mate Sprit? You aren't sure what that is, but it sounds great. You ask her what you should call her. My name's Polipa, but there's no reason to go throwing it around. Let's not talk at all. You want to point out that it won't look like a very convincing date if you're just walking in silence, but that would require talking, and she told you not to do that. A trio of those spiky robots come marching by, drones or whatever. Their big, ugly heads swivel back and forth like they're looking for someone. Polipa doesn't say anything, and she keeps her eyes forward, but she goes as sharp as a laser, every muscle in her body tensing. You feel it through her hand. Her fingers tighten on yours until the drones disappear into the crowd. She yanks you around the corner into a smaller alley connecting two roads. There's nothing here but a pothole and a couple dumpsters. Hold up a minute. Her hoodie has a symbol on the front of it. Two overlapping gold ovals. Most trolls seem to have a symbol designating their blood color on them somewhere. This means she's a gold blood, right? But then Polipa yanks the sweatshirt over her head, and underneath she's wearing a tank top emblazoned with a symbol in olive green. It looks a little like a cat. That's pretty cute. Olive bloods are supposedly known for like assassinations, and she's an example of that. It kind of was a little funny. She tosses the sweatshirt into the nearest dumpster and kicks a button on the side. A whoosh, accompanied by the sulfury stink of immolation. Note to self, don't go dumpster diving in Alternia. Polipa grabs your hand again as you head back out to the street. With her other hand, she works the tie out of her hair, shaking it out of its ponytail, letting it fall in thick, sweaty clumps against her neck. Wow, she had a ponytail this whole time? Who'd have guessed? Like, literally, her sprites did not show that at all. Next, she reaches up and takes part of her right horn off. Wait, no, it was a little bit of veneer, an artificial bit to cover up a notch in the chitin? What are all these random wardrobe changes about? You wonder until you actually begin to listen to some of the conversations happening around you and check out the big billboard side screens mounted on roofs every few blocks. Seems like the rumor mill is already going hard. Apparently a well-respected Violet Blood is dead, killed in public in full view of witnesses by a gold blood girl with a ponytail. Wow, you really are dealing with a professional here. I need to find somewhere to lay low until the heat turns down. I mean, we both do, since you're my associate now. I had a contact waiting, but I don't know what happened to her. It's possible she got spooked. Got any ideas for likely hideouts? I'm not from around here. You wonder what in the world made her think you have any idea what's going on, ever. She keeps giving you sharp looks, as if she is gradually catching on to just who she has chosen to recruit. You want her to understand that no matter how busted you look, you are an amazing friend and co-conspirator. Well, here's your chance. What do you propose? Hide out in one of these apartment buildings. That's a possibility. Most of the hive stems around here are cheap rentals, burgundy or bronze at most. I could take them, no problem. I mean, I can take anyone. Some jobs just require a little more forethought. I kind of meant finding an empty unit, or maybe skulking in a foyer or alien Starbucks. But you don't want to tell your cool new friend how to do her job. And there you go again, jumping the gun and claiming friends you don't have the right to. But she did choose you. Though at this point, she may be wishing she'd grabbed some other random stranger's hand. Well, pick one. This was your idea. Oh geez. You seriously don't need this kind of responsibility in your life. Nothing good will come from letting you be in charge. But you also don't want her to think you are useless. You just kind of wish she'd tell you what to do and leave it at that. You pick a tall purple building at random. How about that one? Sure, I guess. You enter what seems to be a standard shabby apartment building, climbing the lobby steps up to a hallway lined with doors. This could be any apartment on Earth, but instead of letters on the nameplates, there's those colorful symbols. They remind you a little of zodiac signs. Huh, weird. So I can't remember if I've already explained it, but these are from the extended zodiac. If I remember correctly, there's 244 additional zodiac signs for symbols of different trolls. There's also, funny enough, a quiz you can take to figure out which sign is yours based off your personality. If I remember
Firefox
correctly.
is the best one for that.
Huh?
Firefox is the best one for that because it actually loads the HTTP pages instead of translating it into an HTTPS page.
For the test? For the zodiac signs?
Yeah.
Huh.
Actually, for just about any Homestuck thing.
Yeah, that's fair, I guess. Anyway, all the ones here are red or brown, like Polipa predicted. She listens at a couple doors before finally settling on one with a red symbol. You wait for her to pull out a lockpick or high-tech paraphernalia, or even just a pin from her hair. Instead, she takes a step back and delivers 2 sharp kicks just above the knob. What? I'm not the goddamn super. You assure her you are absolutely not judging the way she's running this operation. You don't think you've ever met a mercenary before. Unless you count that guy who tried to hit you up for cash when you were injured. Tagora. Or the little girl who drained your blood for paints. Amicia. Or the boy constantly on the prowl for delicious meats. Demon. The apartment is dingy, small, and smells like old pizza. Good news! Not that it smells bad, just the fact that there's pizza here. You didn't think you could live on a planet that didn't have pizza. That's just beyond the pale. You try to shut the busted door as well as you can. Polipa plunks herself down on the couch and pulls out her phone. Or, what had Skyla called it? A palm husk? She pulls out her palm husk and proceeds to ignore you. That's okay. It's important for friends to give each other space. You take the opportunity to poke around the apartment you're currently illegally occupying. Just generally being a nosy piece of shit. Whoever lives here is a real slob. Dishes are piled high in the sink, and the windows are so dirty you can barely see out of them. Let's actually take a peek. And it doesn't look too bad. Interesting. I like how they still have, like, outlets here. Something sticky and red stains half the counter. It might be blood, but it also might be Kool-Aid. I don't know. I think she's just a silly gal. Fuck. God damn it. Shitting fuck breath. Something appears to have gone wrong. Polipa is still on the couch, hunched over with her palm husk held close to her face. She types with her knuckles. You've noticed a lot of trolls do that, probably because of their claws. That sounds unfortunate. It's all over Chitter. Everyone's talking about it. My contact. They got her. She's been cold. She's silly, we say as she's getting sad. Her voice is flat, her eyes expressionless. She lets the palm husk slip from her fingers into her lap. You stand next to the couch like an asshole. You don't know what to say, and you doubt Polipa is the hugging type, but you really can't stand her looking so dejected. Before you start pitying me, don't. I barely knew her. It's not like we were in a quadrant or anything. It's just business. You sit down on the other end of the couch, tipping your head and raising your eyebrows to show you are very ready to listen and learn and commiserate. Philippa wraps her arms around her knees. Most pros work with a partner. It's a lot easier when you have someone you trust to watch your back. It's usually quadranted pairs who work together. There's one particularly famous olive and goldblood duo, who we will actually meet later. I've lost plenty of jobs to them, but I've never found anyone that I trust enough to make into my partner beyond just a random one-off. Killing a sea dweller is no joke. It's almost totally impossible. Does that mean the guy back in the town square isn't actually dead? Filippo looks affronted at the very thought. Excuse me? No. It just means I had to get a very expensive knife and coat it in very expensive poison and stab it in exactly the right place. The motherfucker is dead. There's no doubt about that. I don't leave jobs half done. High-cash jobs are my specialty. Most people are too afraid to take jobs higher than teal. Me, I don't care. Low blood, high blood. If you've got the cash, I'll do the job. If I did have a partner, it'd make things a lot easier. I'll admit that much. You cough lightly into a closed fist. What's this? What's this? Something caught in your throat, perhaps? Could it be the steady hand of fate reaching a finger down and testing your gag reflex? You murmur, delicately, that sometimes destiny steers you in a direction you never thought you'd go. Maybe, just maybe, it has steered her to you. That's forward for sure, but you're pretty much an old hand at this by now, right? Palipa snorts. It's a little watery. She isn't crying, is she? No way. Not a tough assassin like her. You're imagining it. You? No offense, but I only grabbed you because you look so weird. And I figured you wanted to avoid the Jones even more than I do. You don't exactly blend in. You can't argue with her logic, but a sourness starts in your throat now at the realization that Palipa had not chosen you for your obvious trustworthiness and friendship potential, but rather because you look like a goddamn disaster. Fair. A very fair assessment. Whatever. You can get past that. God knows you have gotten past worse. Like attempted murder. As a good friend recently said, you gotta break a few Fuck me. You gotta break a few cluck beast embryos to make a grublet. Yes. She's considering you now, more thoughtful than before. Well, I guess beggars can't exactly be choosers. But you have to remember. What you have to remember, you aren't destined to find out. That fate finger reaches down further and chokes you. Keys jingle outside the apartment before whoever is out there catches sight of the busted door. Silly sprite. What the hell? You and Palipa lock eyes. Oh shit! A quick flash of silver, and suddenly a knife appears in Palipa's hands. Where did it even come from? Outside in the hall, someone is swearing. The broken door falls inward, and before it is all the way open, Palipa is up and over the couch, launching herself at the intruders. Shit. Wait. You are the intruders. And this is what you're afraid of. You are about to watch your new friend kill some poor low-blood troll. This was such a terrible idea. Too bad there's no way to go back in time and make your choices all over again. Yeah, that would be rad. You wish life was like that. A short, stout little guy with a red symbol on his shirt comes through, but right behind him is a troll so tall he has to duck down to get through the door. Oh, hell no. The giant troll catches Palipa with one hand. He's got big ram-like horns and a curly purple symbol on his shirt. His face is painted in lines of black and white, makeup designed to make his face look like a skull. Look, babe. Look at these tiny wriggler thieves. Polipa writhes in his grip, clawing at him like an angry cat. Get in that purple guy's reach, you're absolutely gonna get killed. Purple guy, you say? Is it perchance behind the slaughter? Oh shit, my avatar glitched for a minute. Hold on. Why is it glitching this bad?
Unrelated, but I found out some animations you can do in Ren'Py.
Oh, that's cool.
After stream, I can show you my
Okay.
progress on the little visual novel I've got. Anyway,
Hold
not
on.
trying to plug, sorry.
I have to fix my thing, I think. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah, I do. I'm going to get out of it and then get back on it. It's mainly my avatar, I think, that's dying. Okay, I think I fixed it. I had to spin myself around for a minute.
Spin!
Well, more like shake my head around. Like that. You'll see it on stream eventually.
I would have to open my phone for that. Or my palm husk, sorry.
Oh no, the gift stopped moving for a second. Well, there's only one gift down there. Yeah.
Oh, I see now.
Purple guy, like the man behind the slaughter. It's been so long.
So long.
Since last I've seen my son lost to this monster, to the man behind the culling. You try to move your feet, but your survival instincts are kicking in and you are rooted to the spot. You can't do anything. You're useless. You don't even know what happened to Polipa's knife. You had taken some self-defense classes back on Earth. The high blood gives Polipa a wide smile and tosses her across the room like he's lobbing a dodgeball. Holy shit. She lands on her back, rolls to her feet, and bolts for the window. Of course you would have a high blood mate spurt. The high blood turns to you and sticks out a big gray tongue, and wow, suddenly you can move your feet again. You throw yourself out the window after Polipa, when falling out of a building. You're Polipa, meaning you get a collection of bony elbows and knees applied to your gut. She bares her teeth at you. No, it's doing it again! My poor stream!
No!
Oh my god. Okay. I think I fixed it again. Get off, idiot. They're definitely going to call drones. We've got to run. You roll your big floppy body off of her and hustle to keep up as she peels off down the street. You throw one last glance over your shoulder to see the two guys hanging out the window. The high blood waves lazily. Well, not too off topic. I think it's kind of funny that the purple blood just stares at you and sticks his tongue out. Just imagining that makes me giggle a little bit. Yeah, it truly is. It's corrupting because this game is so epic. Polipa starts out strong, but pretty soon she's limping and leaning on your shoulder. A jagged piece of glass is wedged in her calf muscle. You lean down to get a closer look. You're no doctor, but recently you've become an expert in acute injuries. What the hell? Stop. You want me to leave a blood trail? We need to split up now that we've been seen together. Your heart sinks all the way to your aching feet. God, you'd been so sure you had this one on lock. You mentioned, half mumbling to yourself, that maybe it'd be better if you stayed together. Safety in numbers and all that. Oh yeah? Maybe safety for you. This was a terrible idea. I can't believe I ever trusted that someone could have my back. Yeah, let's do another of your amazing plans. Sounds great. She leaves you at an intersection of streets. Even though she's no longer leaning on you, you nevertheless feel a heaviness settle inside you, philosophically. A deep fatigue so intense you want to curl up on the ground. So you do. Real. At least your ass didn't kill her.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not your internet, Ash. Sorry about that. I don't know why it was glitching like that. Alternia's deadliest ass.
Alternia's deadliest ass.
It's probably the funniest ending.
Nom, 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 nom.
Catch a movie and get some soft serve grub cream. Felipa's mouth twitches. It could just be a muscle spasm, but you like to think it's a smile of approval and burgeoning camaraderie. Yeah, I guess we could. That's what people do on dates, right? It's been a while. Haven't seen a movie in forever. Let's do it. She
I'm
squeezes your
sorry.
hand.
Sorry. I hate to interrupt, but for some reason on my end, it'll show me like a previous screen at some point, and it just went from her like smiling to the sprite where you land on her.
Oh, joy.
It was just like it looks like an internal fucking bit of disgust. Anyway.
She squeezes your hand. You would have thought holding hands for so long would get sweaty and uncomfortable. You are certainly nervous enough, but her skin is surprisingly cool. With a couple of exceptions, all of your new friends have been literally cold-blooded. Also metaphorically for a few of them. But you aren't going to judge them for their lifestyle choices. That isn't your place as a friend. Regardless, your point is, it's kind of nice holding hands even if it is under completely false murder pretenses. Come on, there's probably a theater in there. Makes sense. You aren't from around here, and you don't think Palipa is either, but you can always recognize a mall when you see one. Stores and escalators, and fountains full of slimy mall water that's probably been in there for years. The biggest difference between this and an Earth Mall is that there doesn't seem to be anyone working at any of these stores. Everything is automated. That and the top floors appear to be reserved for high bloods. Imagine that in real life. Like, malls have, like, a second floor that's only for, like, rich people. That would suck.
That would suck.
Palipa is still holding onto your hand. Gosh, it's like you really are on a real date. This is very, very friendly. As far as you know, you have never been on a date with an assassin before. You can't read the show times and descriptions, and you don't have any money, but Palipa chooses the movie and pays for you both. She tosses a couple of coins into a slot, and the machine spits out 2 tickets. You don't see any soft serve grub cream, but you are a little too queasy from mingled nerves and excitement currently to deal with anything called grub cream. You do, however, stop for a bag of buttery exploded kernels at the concession stand. The theater you follow Palipa into isn't crowded, but you still feel every pair of eyes settling on you as you walk up the steps. Your heart pounds and sweat slides down the back of your neck. Yeah, that's kind of fair. As a fair point, that sucks. Capitalism isn't my favorite thing, despite owning a bookstore. You're just positive everyone can see right through you to this deeply controversial cross-species matchup you got going here. Even worse, Felipa takes a seat weirdly close to the other group. Only other group in here. Man, awkward. The movie starts playing. Apparently, in Alternia, there aren't any trailers before movies. Kind of a bummer. If you're going to be stuck here, you want to know what hot new summer blockbusters you have to look forward to. Surprisingly, the movie turns out to be a romantic comedy. You expected Polipa to choose a thriller or a horror movie. From what you can glean of the plot, it's about a beautiful young Jade Blood who gets involved with a visiting Blue Blood and their servant, a big, bumbling bronze. The portrayal of Low Blood strikes you as vaguely offensive. They grunt and fall down a lot. Which you don't really see in Skyla. Or Vicare. And those are, Bronze Bloods, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you have a point, but, a bookstore is where you pay for things, and that's capitalism. The caverns look a lot fancier than you remember from the time you hung out with Branya. Just a lot bigger and more glittery. The main character spends a lot of time pulling a jeweled comb through her lustrous hair. The dialogue is kind of incoherent, and you don't just think it's because you're unfamiliar with the cultural context. It also doesn't help that Polipa keeps up a running commentary throughout. The ban on conversation has apparently been lifted. Ugh. I can't believe they added in the mistaken identity storyline. So unnecessary. Also, Black Rom is so boring in comedies. There's just no punch to it. I can't believe how bad this is. I don't remember the book being this garbage, but I read it a long time ago. My taste may have just been worse back then. You're looking at her in a whole new light. She shrugs, possibly a little self-conscious. What, you think I've been an assassin since I pupated? I used to have a blog for relationship advice and stuff like that. Of course, I was just messing around. I didn't know anything beyond what I'd read online. Two characters are kissing on screen. You have no idea who they are. You're way more interested in the fact that Polipa has decided to tell you her life story in the back of a movie theater. The deep blue light from a scene in the brooding caverns washes over her, making her look noble and sad. You are entranced. It didn't last, though. I doubt it had anything to do with my blog, but a few sweeps ago, a group of kids broke into my hive. I think they were high. Maybe I'm sober. Whatever. They stole a bunch of my shit, killed my Lucis, and some little psionic fuck broke both my legs with his brain. I remember hearing someone say that they thought the person who did that might have been Kuprum. Just because he thought it would be funny. Probably because of that part, and him and Follicle are pretty brutal sometimes.
Yeah.
You are riveted. You have a bit of a tragic backstory yourself, but nothing this dramatic. Polipa picks through the buttery exploded kernels with a delicate claw. I was trapped in my hive. I would have starved to death. If it hadn't been for some teal who lived in my neighborhood. Oh yeah, wasn't that, Tigiri?
Yeah.
Just some little idiot who ran around with an Eastern Alternia replica sword, challenging beasts to duels. So Eastern Alternia, I guess, is kind of their version of Asia, or at least maybe kind of Japan, because, when it's mentioned, it usually means something along those lines. because Tigiri is a weeaboo. Tealbloods are pedantic bulge lords, but they care about justice, and these kids had attacked me for no reason. I didn't break any laws. Anyway, that's why I'm equal opportunity for how I take jobs. Low blood, high blood, everyone is scum. One of the kids in the row ahead of you turns around to tell Palipa that if she and her Moirail want to get all nasty and pale, maybe you should get a room. Palipa kicks the back of her chair and tells her maybe she should mind her own business. The girl looks about ready to jump over the back of her seat, but the guy next to her pats her firmly on the cheek. Almost a slow motion slap, firm and intense with plenty of uncomfortably intimate eye contact. I still don't fully understand how it works.
It's like caressing the cheek. But it's it's supposed to like help calm them down. It's a shoosh pap.
I'm curious behind the quote-unquote science of it, I guess. The girl settles down after that, and everyone goes back to watching the movie. The rest of it goes by with your head spinning and your heart in your throat. You're glad Palipa trusts you enough to share her past, but you are nervous about her talking about it in public. Wasn't the whole point of coming to the movie to lay low? Think about it. When that girl sees the description in the alert, she's not going to be thinking, the noisy olive blood getting all conciliatorily in public. Did I say that right? I don't know. It's way safer than skulking around, believe me. Gosh, Palipa really is an expert. You're so glad you got to go on this date with her, even if it was mostly fake. As soon as you are back out on the street, Palipa pulls out her phone. Slowly her face falls. Fuck, that little nook licker. I thought she bailed on me, but according to Chitter, she's dead. They got her. Damn it. I told her to be careful. Her sadness is quickly turning to rage, vibrating off her in frantic waves. Her voice gets louder too, and people are starting to look your way. Heckling in a theater is one thing. Shouting at a phone about murder is another. This is going south fast. You've got to calm her down. Deploy shush pep. For a lack of a better plan, you copy what you saw the troll inside do to his angry date. You press your Fuck. You press your You press your palm firmly to her cheek. To your intense shock, she blushes a deep olive green and her eyes slip closed. She leans into your touch as if she is drawing comfort from this tiny little gesture. Then she blinks and pulls away. Pretty sprite. Listen, I'm technically on the clock right now. Let's be professional. She bites her lip, hesitating. Then she reaches up and repeats the gesture on your face. An unbelievable warmth fills you. Fuck. The warmth feels you. Could it be the warmth of friendship? You're a weird-looking double-horned amputee with very few social skills, terrible survival instincts, and both short-term and long-term memory loss. But you're alright. If you ever want to earn a little cash, I could use a partner that I can depend on. Is it raining? No. Those are just tears in your eyes. Tears of gratitude. Okay, don't get too choked up. You're definitely just gonna be bait. You assure Palipa that, due to your general ineptitude, you wouldn't want it any other way. Victory! She looks so silly. I don't know why her horns are fully red there, though.
Sometimes the artists make mistakes.
I mean, to be fair, they all kind of look like they're in MS Paint, but that's not a bad thing in my opinion. I think it looks good that way. Plus, it'll make it a lot easier for me.
Yeah.
Alright, zebra time, motherfuckers.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it was kind of cute. I mean, I guess before I do that, I could do the ratings real quick.
Yeah.
Alright, so we did Vicare and Felipa. Vicare, where are you? Me and I struggle. Oh, there he is. He doesn't stand out to me too much, but I don't dislike him at all. I think he's definitely better than Ardata. He's a little silly. He's a little guy. And Polypo. There she is. I forget that she has bandages in her spray. I actually quite like her. So, she's going in like a lot. Hope you guys agree with these choices. You're liking the girls here, aren't you? Vicaris? Yeah, he's a little guy. Interesting. Wonder if it's gonna remain that for the rest of the game. Alright. Let me stretch out real quick. You know, if he wasn't an incel, he would be tolerable. Zebra, not
Yeah.
Vicare.
Yeah.
Vicare, but he's an incel. Oh god. That would have been awful. Yeah. If you want, you can probably end up watching it later. Your stroll takes you into a nice part of town that seems to have larger, more McMansion-style hives. Sorry. Sorry, I had to make sure my habits bar wasn't glitching again. Based on your past experience on Alternia, you're not quite certain that upper-class enclaves equal safety for you. But you might as well explore. You never know where you'll find your next friend. Yeah, you're totally from the past. The power of positive thinking must be on your side because someone emerges out of the shadows of these sprawling suburbs. Alright.
Hold on, let me turn off my noise suppression for this. Oh, hello there. I don't believe we've met. I'm sure I would have remembered someone with such unique looks.
His typing quirk, by the way, is using the quadrant symbols to basically put the underlying meaning in his words.
You don't know where you are, do you?
Imagine just realizing his name. I mean, yeah, that's reasonable. I've surprisingly actually seen zebra fans.
I have
Recently,
too.
too. This is probably one of his better sprites, I can't lie.
Yeah.
By this point in your time on Alternia, you don't know if it's wise admit that you're lost and naive to the ways of the world, but you don't know what you could say to try and convince this guy that you've got any kind of street smarts. You nod your head reluctantly, but he actually looks more interested in you after the confirmation that you're new to the neighborhood. Have you perhaps found someone who likes you for your vulnerability and naivete? That would sure be fantastic luck. No, it wouldn't. Yeah, there are fans for everything. It just... I don't know why the fans of Zebra surprised me so much.
Because he's so awful.
It's a good thing that I found you. Not everyone is respectful of lowbloods as I am.
Isn't that the auspicious symbol?
It is.
Oh, but I shouldn't make assumptions just because you're not much to look at. My bad.
And that's because Mises, I'm pretty sure.
The spade is, yes.
I don't mean to be forward, but you're just so interesting. Mind if I ask what blood color you have?
His eyes on this sprite are killing me. You hesitate. While you're still terrifyingly ignorant of the intricacies of Alternian society, you're starting to feel terrifyingly informed about the role that blood color plays in this world. And you've managed to gather by now that plain old human red isn't considered one of the better colors to have. What do you do? His face is genuinely killing me. That's like the funniest sprite of his. Every time I see it, it catches me off guard.
I'm trying to draw Nya-san.
Ew.
I'm not succeeding very well.
Nah, it's fine. I don't even draw her that great either. Guys, I can't do self-portraits. I mean, I can if I try, but I end up not doing that. It's okay to be scared, Ash. And yes, it is on point for him, Phil. Lions say you have a high blood color.
Oh, really? It's not that I don't want to be friends with other high bloods, but I'm a busy troll, you understand? So I only befriend folks that I might, want to fill a quadrant with someday. Besides, high bloods just don't need as much as help in our unjust society. Stay awakened.
He pumps his fist in the air, and you immediately copy him, but the gesture doesn't seem to be enough to change his mind about you not being oppressed enough for his tastes.
So, I just don't think it's gonna work out between us.
Out of his league. Imagine being out of someone's league because you're not oppressed enough. Tell the truth.
Red, huh?
Oh yeah, you guys are gonna see just how fucking awful he is.
Hold on. Hold on. I will be right back. I will not take long.
Okay. Because, believe it or not, this guy actually gets worse. You're just doing a single shake and crying. Here, I'll give my example of that. Sob, sob, sob. I mean, I do have, like, a thing for that, I think. Oh, that's my glasses. That's angry. There's sad. Believe it or not, there's actually technically better endings. Not in his story. But in other routes.
Okay, I'm back. So I found something that we've been looking for all day. So, and it was in a really stupid spot, so I had to wake up my partner and, let them know. Anyway.
Wow, that's so unique. I've always liked the color red. I don't think I've ever filled a quadrant with a red blood before. I mean, I don't think I've ever made friends with a red blood before.
Bullshitting us right now.
For real.
You don't know what a quadrant is or what it means to fill one. Given your experience on this planet so far, you're nervous that it could mean something violent. I mean, it can, technically.
Yeah, technically.
But you don't want to further expose your ignorance, so you just say that you're as excited for this friendship as he is.
You come on strong. Nice.
I'm actually kind of curious how this fucker would handle someone actually being excited to be near his presence.
I kind of want to make a character just to fill that spot. Not because I like the character, but just to see how that would go.
We both had the same idea! Dude, 2 would be even worse! Oh my god.
2 would be even worse. We have to do that now.
Totally. It would not be my first time.
You need a place to stay for the day, right? I can help you out with that. I've got plenty of spare rooms for guests in my hive. You know, I believe it's important to help out the undeserved members of the community when you can.
Oh, underserved.
His fucking... His pose! This way, ladies. Ass pose.
My hive is this way. Shall we?
You know, if you didn't know his personality, this is a fire sprite.
For real.
You follow him down the street. You guess it must qualify as a nice night, because you see lots of other trolls walking around here too. I know, right? This sprite's so funny. Most of them are dressed as nice as Zebra, and you see a few shabbier looking trolls that must be low bloods, walking with high bloods.
Sorry, just a second. Okay.
Today is actually Flushed Affirmation Day, so you'll see a lot of trolls taking their maze sprites out to celebrate. Lucky for you, my flushed quadrant is currently empty, so I'm all yours tonight.
That sounds a little weird. He doesn't need to be all yours, you assure him. You're an easygoing individual who's happy to share their friends with plenty of other friends.
Sure. Sharing can be a good time, if you're into that. I could be, speaking personally, like maybe with 2 low bloods, but not in an objectifying way. Everyone involved has got to respect each other, you know?
Wow, what? You have no idea how your innocent comment about friendship got taken to this particular place. You decide that maybe the best thing to say here is nothing, because who knows how he might misinterpret you next.
Huh. Looks like there are a lot of high blood, low blood couples out here tonight for the holiday. Pretty unusual to see in this neighborhood, to be honest. It's sad, but most of these low bloods are probably with their mace splits because it's socially advantageous. Pretty shitty of the high bloods to take advantage of that, but not everyone is as socially conscious as I am.
Yep, totally.
I think it's super terrible when high bloods don't treat their low blood mates like the queens they are.
You look around at all the other couples. The class divide is pretty noticeable, and some of the high blood trolls have scornful looks on their faces when talking to their low blood dates. Yeah, it is great voice acting. One troll dressed in cerulean is making her shabbily dressed mate Sprit kneel down so he can give her a ride on his shoulders. Oh my god. It could maybe be a cute coupley thing, you guess. Except she's sure laughing a lot and has the heel of her boot pressing into the back of his neck. You don't want to speculate about what people might be into, but it does seem kind of humiliating. Zebra sees what you're looking at and shudders theatrically. In the process of waving his arm around in disgust, he slips an arm over your shoulders. Wow, what a fantastic sprite.
I'm so sorry. You shouldn't have to see something like that.
I don't know why my voice for him keeps changing.
It's okay. You're trying to think of a tactful and friendly way to move away from his arm around your shoulders when you arrive at what must be his hive. It's the biggest and most McMansion-y hive on the block, and when he stops in front of it, he lets go of you to gesture proudly at his sprawling home.
Welcome to my humble abode.
I'm screenshotting that.
I just feel grateful, you know, to be able to share my wealth with those less fortunate.
Fire sprites. Yeah. Yep. Fire sprites for sure. Sorry, I forgot his Lucis. Oh my god. Yeah, this is what his Lucis is. I wonder how he got his name. When you walk inside the front door, you're greeted by a very distinguished looking white zebra. Oh yeah, it also has like a little bow tie looking pattern on the chest, which is very befitting because zebra also has that. It has normal zebra markings all over its body except for around its neck, where the dark gray zags have formed a shape that looks like a bow tie, almost like it's wearing a suit. You don't know how its zebra face is managing to radiate pure disdain when it looks at you, but that is unquestionably the energy you're getting.
Don't mind my Lucis. He's kind of socially old-fashioned. But he lets me keep low bloods around the hive to help out and stuff, so he's not all bad. Let me give you the grand tour.
As Zebra takes you through the spacious hive, you can see other trolls in several of the rooms. Most of them aren't wearing clothes as nice as Zebra's. You're guessing these are the lowbloods he just mentioned. They seem to all be doing chores, sweeping, cooking, exchanging green slime in troll-sized bathtubs for other, possibly fresher green slime. Each of them glances up at you and Zebra when you pass by, then looks deferentially away. The zebra Lucis is following you, and every time you exit a room, it pauses in the doorway to whinny out what could be orders, or possibly he's just berating them. Would they even understand?
Yeah.
Damn.
Most of them are able to communicate through, like, body language or some shit.
You arrive at an empty ballroom-looking space upstairs, where several low-blood trolls are hard at work cleaning up the remains of what must have been quite a party. Zebra seems to notice you noticing how all the trolls in here are scrubbing the floor and how they are all avoiding your eyes.
See? I told you I'd taken plenty of guests. I believe it's important to promote diversity, you know? So that's why you don't see other indigo bloods here. Looks like all the guests are busy today. Well, an important part of communal living comes with contributing your labor when it's necessary. Right, guys?
A few lowbloods mutter an affirmation, while others just put their sponges and mops down to prostrate their whole bodies on the floor. Zebra looks a little uncomfortable with the bowing, but not that uncomfortable. He doesn't introduce you to any of them.
They don't all realize yet that my hive is a sanctuary from the harsh injustices of the outside world. Anyway, enough about my low-blood guests. Let's take care of you, shall we?
Perhaps his Lucis has had enough of tolerating your presence, because it takes the opportunity to stop following you and go huff at more of Zebra's guests. Now, for better or worse, you are alone and Zebra has turned all of his attention on you. His smile seems very friendly. You want to see it as friendly.
The night is still young. I'm happy to do whatever you want to do. If you feel like going out on the town to celebrate Flushed Affirmation Day, I have lots of other friends I could introduce you to. Help you meet the right kind of culture, you know? Or if you're tired, I can show you to your guest room now. And we can have a nice night in.
Go out or stay in? Does this shit even fucking matter? I forget.
I don't remember.
Oh, awesome.
I actually haven't played this one. This is one I actively avoided.
Oh. Yeah, I played all of them. Even the ones I didn't really care for. Because I think I remember part of this one. You're not crazy about the idea of being alone with this guy for the rest of the night. Plus, if he's as popular as he says he is, that means more potential friends for you to meet. Just like, go out. You tell him that you're interested in going out.
Cool, cool. That sounds like a great time. I'll just go get ready. Actually, I think I'm more in the mood for a quiet, nice quiet night in.
See, this is why I asked if it even fucking mattered, because I remember him pulling this shit.
Maybe television streaming service and lower the temperature if it's cool with you.
Netflix and chill. Oh boy. If that has the same connotations as it does on Earth, it's not cool with you. You stumble through expressing some misgivings, but he talks over you.
Great. Sounds like we both feel like staying in tonight. I'm not gonna lie. I'm psyched to stay in and have you all to myself.
No nice quiet night. Yeah, I don't see how it'd be quiet if it's Zebra. He's a yapper.
I just want you to feel comfortable whatever we choose to do.
Yes, clearly he does. You're not sure why he asked you what you wanted to do, since your preferences don't seem to matter much.
My Luces and guests have probably prepared a delicious meal for you by now, but let's finish the tour first. I assume you want to see my room.
You tell him, sure, bedrooms are a great way for people to express their personalities, and as his friend, you're interested in getting to know him better. He doesn't seem to have heard part of that sentence, but it's okay. Hopefully he got the gist. When you get to his enormous room, it's decorated with posters of musicians on the wall and what seem to be social justice slogans. One poster has a symbol with clawed hands in several different colors coming together to hold a trident, with the word unity underneath it. Another poster features a rainbow of colors ranging from rust to olive green that proclaims him to be a low-blood ally. 2 other low-blood servants are in here. One of them standing on a stepladder to dust some high shelves, while the other crawls around on the floor, scrubbing and picking up wrappers that Zebra seems to have just littered there.
Pretty sweet place, right?
His face is killing me.
You look confused by the posters. Music taste probably isn't refined enough to have heard my favorite bands. I only listen to subversive musicians that speak truth to power. Luckily, you have me to teach you how to confront your privilege and support marginalized artists.
He's saying this to the least privileged person.
Yeah.
Yes, such marginalized artists, like Marvis and Trixie. Only one of them are actually marginalized.
Yeah. Well, no, technically they both are, but they are in different ways.
Yeah.
Also, did you notice my rad pile? It's a perfect setup for feelings jam with your Moirail.
He winks at you. You don't know what a Moirail is, or what he means by feelings jam. Which sounds like in theory it could be a nice thing, but maybe not, given the sleazy way he says it. You tell him that it looks like a very nice pile of things. You spot a couple pillows, what looks like a puppet with a disturbingly long nose, some random bow ties, a few horseshoes.
Smuppet. Anyway.
You look intrigued. Want to lie down on it for a second? We don't have to do anything, but sometimes it could be nice to just, pacify each other a little bit.
Smuppet?
It's a Homestuck thing. Okay. I'm gonna turn my noise suppression back on.
His theme isn't so bad, at least. What were you typing?
I was typing a message to you.
Oh. Yeah, I don't see it. Hold on. I'll actually look now. Oh! It's like what Loki in Record of Ragnarok has in Brunhilde. Love that.
Yeah.
He sprawls on the pile in what he probably thinks is an enticing way. Like he wants you to draw him like one of your French girls. Imagine Zebra doing that, dude. Like, that's so hard. You turn away to try and hide the disturbed expression on your face because turning down his advances probably isn't the best way to secure his friendship. As your eyes cast about the rest of the room, you notice that the low-blood servant scrubbing the floor is having a coughing fit. You can tell that she's trying to cough unobtrusively, but it seems like she's hacking her lungs up, with each big cough racking her whole body and making her shoulders shake. Concerned, you crouch down by her side. Yeah, it's because the message was very clear and concise. She jumps when she notices your concern and mumbles that she's fine and that you don't need to worry. But she doesn't look fine. Now that you're getting a closer look, you can tell that she seems to be underfed and exhausted, with sickly shadows on her face and scraped up knees and elbows. See guys, he gets worse! Yay! She looks bad, and you know bad, considering how much of your time you've recently spent stumbling around with various excruciating injuries. You mentioned to Zebra that his guest is not looking so good. He frowns, getting up from his pile of stuff to come investigate, blinking down at you in confusion and not sparing a glance for the low blood.
What? What are you even talking about?
The servant tries to go back to her scrubbing. Tries to go back to her scrubbing, but she struggles with coughing and scrubbing simultaneously, It's hard for you to watch. Surely she would feel better if she took a break and ate or drank something. You asked Zebra about that hot meal he said was being cooked for you. Maybe you could give some of it to this poor, sick troll.
Geez, you're making me look bad. There's no way a guest in my house could be going hungry. I respect lowbloods and do everything in my power to take care of them. What, do you think you're a better ally than I am?
Considering your status, or lack thereof, on this planet, you're not sure you count as an ally so much as a member of the oppressed underclass, but you let that slide. You hasten to explain that you didn't mean to criticize him, and you're sure he's doing a fine job at being an ally to lowbloods.
Yeah, well that's not easy. Whatever. Maybe we should just go eat now. I don't feel like having a feelings jam anymore.
He turns and leaves the room without showing any sign that he'll do something for the sick lowblood. You mouth an apology to her behind his back, and she just gives you a tired wave and goes back to scrubbing. Zebra leads you downstairs to the dining room, whereas Lucis is supervising a team of lowbloods, setting the table with what looks like a 4-course meal. The look on Lucis's zebra face is now even more disdainful than before, and its bow tie seems angrier.
Looks like dinner is almost ready. Cool, cool. Of course, you're probably not gonna offer to pay for any of it, are you? Figures, lowbloods, I mean trolls in general, are always expecting me to provide for them without ever offering any concupiscence in return.
I think it's concupiscence.
Concupiscence? Maybe?
For once, you're kind of glad that you're unfamiliar with his alien vocabulary and innuendo. You have absolutely no money, which he definitely knows. You can pay him back for the dinner in friendship?
Yeah, well, I'm not sure if I want to be friends with someone who has a problem with the way I do activism. I have it on good authority from every other highblood I know that my intersectional praxis is valid.
You stumble over your words in your haste to assure him that you in no way meant to say he's not valid. You've never met a troll so valid. No one believes in his validity more than you do.
Whatever, let's just eat.
You both sit down at the table while the lowbloods set the table, light the candles, and serve the appetizer course. You can't help but notice that most of them look just as malnourished and sickly as the troll upstairs, but it might be best not to bring that up again. You eat in silence for a while, and Zebra looks like he's stewing over something. Then he sets his fork down and looks over the table at you with a frown. Oh.
You know what? I just realized. You totally denied my lowblood her own agency when you questioned me about not feeding her. Yeah, what you said was totally problematic. You don't respect lowbloods at all, do you? Not like I do.
You try to apologize, saying that it was not your intention to disrespect anyone, but that you're sorry you apparently did. He doesn't let you get the words out.
People don't realize how tough it is to be a high-blood troll who believes in social justice. Seriously, I face my own kind of oppression for speaking out and being an activist for low-blood rights. For one thing, I never get any conciliation or concupiscence because I deserve. My quadrants are always going unfilled because no one else agrees with my radical views.
Well, I mean, at least I picked the bad ending first shot.
I thought you'd be different, but you don't get it either.
You try to tell him that he's got you all wrong. You agree with his radical views and believe in low-blood rights, which is why you were concerned for his guest in the first place. But he acts like you didn't say any of what you just said.
You're just another one of the oppressors, complicit in unequal power structures of our fucked up society. Your lack of awareness of your own privilege really makes me sick. You must think you're so oppressed with your red blood and multiple injuries.
This face is probably one of his better faces. Because he's not so smug looking.
Yeah. What are you doing now? Rejecting me and criticizing me? It's exactly the same as subjugulators do to the lowbloods they cull. You probably deserve whatever shitty position you have in society. Unlike me, I deserve to have this nice house and lowblight servants and full quadrants for being such a good activist, okay?
He's standing up by now, advancing on you with his zebra stamping its hooves threateningly at his side. You scramble back, trying to make your way to the front door. It's tricky because you have to step around all the lowbloods who seem to feel strongly that they should get away from Zebra when he's angry. You don't make it to the front door fast enough on your own. With a terrifying equine scream, Zebra's Lucis rears up on its hind legs and strikes you with its hooves, battering you through the front door and breaking some of your recently healed ribs again.
Take your privilege and offensive views and get out. Anyone who doesn't respect the lowbloods is not welcome as a guest in my hive.
It's probably a good thing. His nails look kind of funky.
Alright, love you. Oh, shit.
I thought I muted.
Sorry.
It would behoove you to stay away. Oh my god, it's right on the chest too. Ow.
Hold on.
Yeah, that would be kind of funny. But sadly it couldn't because you didn't make a friend. Just let me know when you're ready. Oh my god. My friends are sending me a shit ton of messages. Okay, I'll deal with them later. Alright, are you ready?
Yeah.
Show me to my room, please. You think
You
that...
think that going out... Oh, shit, my bad.
It's okay, I understand. You think that going out with Zebra on Flush Affirmation Day might potentially give him the wrong idea. And besides, you're pretty tired, so you don't feel like going out. You tell him you're ready to retire to your guest room now.
Sure. Oh, bruh, by the way, have you heard of Chixie Ruxmere? You probably haven't. You don't seem like you're a very serious music fan.
Trixie is so cool. I can't believe he just actually says bruh. I think this is like the only time he says it in his route.
You've got a great opportunity tonight to learn from me. One of our low-blood musician friends is playing a show for the holiday, and I can get us in because I'm super connected in the scene. We should go just in case she's there.
You could have sworn you told him you wanted to stay in tonight, but okay, you can gather the remains of your energy and go out to this concert with him. That's what a good friend would do. See, don't you just love it how the choices mean the opposite? Because he doesn't give a fuck. He takes you across town to the concert, only trying to hold your hand or put his arm around you a couple of times on the way, so it could be worse. It killed you outside. Maybe hand-holding is totally platonic on Alternia? You hope so. The concert itself is one troll with a guitar and a harmonica who, according to Zebra, is a lowblood whose songs are spreading truly radical messages, almost as radical as Chixies. You enjoy the tunes as much as you can, but you don't understand what the lyrics are trying to say. You ask Zebra what the lyrics mean, since the message is apparently important to him, but he gets annoyed with your question.
What? The lyrics are about, well... They're about a lot of things. Social justice and oppression and stuff. It's hard to explain to someone who already doesn't get it. Like, if you're not on my level already, I don't know what I can really say, you know? But enough about the music. I want to talk about you. What sort of things are you into?
Every time he leans in. You haven't had many opportunities on Alternia to talk about your interests. How exciting. You say that you like playing games, but he's already interrupting you.
Oh, cool. Sounds great. Really interesting stuff. What's your quadrant situation like?
It's harder to pretend that you know what he's talking about now that he's asked you about quadrants directly. You admit that you have no idea what he means by quadrant situation.
Whoa, you're even more clueless than I thought. Don't worry, I still find you attractive.
He goes into a brief, but not really brief enough, explanation of the 4 types of romance on Alternia. Mate sprit.
Oh. I'm sorry.
You're fine. Mate spritship, the flushed quadrant, which to you sounds the most analogous to human romantic partnerships.
Analogous.
Sorry, I've never seen that word before. I've read this before, but not out loud.
Yeah.
More allegiance, the pale quadrant, which sounds like an exceptionally codependent friendship by human standards. Auspicism, the ashen quadrant, which you don't understand at all. And kismisitude. Kismisitude? The black quadrant.
Dude.
Which just sounds like repeatedly hooking up with someone you hate. Real. You're fuzzy on the details of all 4 of these, but you understand enough to get he's asking if you're single. You tell him that you really just want to be friends.
Of course, I super respect your choices. If you ever change your mind, I'm right here. And being in a quadrant with an influential, yet sensitive and socially aware indigo blood like myself can make it a lot easier for you to survive and thrive on Alternia.
Wasn't he criticizing that kind of high blood, low blood, socially advantageous relationship just a few hours ago? It wouldn't be very friendly of you to point out his hypocrisy, so you don't mention it. After another song, another troll at the club sidles up to Zebra and whispers something in his ear, then skulks off again. Zebra looks alarmed, glancing around him and edging toward the club exit.
I just got a tip that there's about to be a culling at this concert. We should get out of here.
You definitely agree with him about wanting to get out of here. You look around at the rest of the audience still enjoying the show. You and Zebra are the only ones getting ready to leave. Is he going to warn any of the other trolls here of the danger?
Oh, no, definitely not. If I were to warn any of these lowbloods that a culling is coming, it could mean risking my life too. Not that I've ever tried, but everyone knows that. The Highbloods here will probably be fine though. We've got each other's backs. It's important to look after your comrades in the struggle.
Sure enough, you can see that the other trolls here who, much like Zebra, stand out because they're wearing nice clothes, are casually but urgently leaving the concert venue. The lowbloods are all still clapping and singing along with the singer on stage. No one has given them a tip-off. I mean, you'd think they'd notice the highbloods leaving.
Yeah. Come on, we've got to scram.
I mean, it probably would make sense that they're not mentioning it, but probably a few would probably notice and leave too. One could hope. The 2 of you abscond, getting away from the music club as fast as your legs can carry you. By the time Zebra decides it's safe to slow down, you are tired and out of breath. Looking around, it seems like you've arrived back in the high blood part of town. You wonder if drones have descended on all those trolls at the club by now, and you just can't hear it because this neighborhood is too far away, closed off and sheltered from the violence.
Phew, that was a close one. Going to low-blood cultural events like that can be dangerous, but it's one of the risks that you have to take if you want to be an activist. I can't tell you how many times I've risked a culling to fight for low-blood rights. Civil disobedience is the only way to fight the authoritarian state.
He turns to you and takes one of your hands in both of his, looking deep in your eyes.
I just think it's so cool how you supported me back there when we risked our lives for the cause. It's probably the best way you can contribute as an activist and an ally, you know? By supporting me. And speaking of activism, you were talking about quadrants earlier. Let's get back to that.
This guy just does not want to take no for an answer. Once again, you reiterate that friendship is what you're looking for here. He nods enthusiastically and squeezes your hand tighter.
Fuck yeah, I love friendship. I've always believed that a strong friendship is the best foundation for any successful romantic relationship. And many trolls start by being friends first and enter into a quadrant later. Even if you try to be friends but then fight too much, that can still prepare you for a calignous quadrant. Either way, the thought of being a friend makes my blood pusher beat a little faster.
Alright, we'll see you later then, Fel. Sure, you say. If what we're doing is extolling the benefits of friendship, then boy, do you have some things to add to his list. For instance, friendship can give you a sense of platonic companionship with your fellow man, and friends can also come in handy when you need someone to help you move or take you to the airport or other non-romantic activities. You think friendship is a great thing to pursue for its own merits. Friendship is so great that once you have it, why would you want anything more?
Hell yeah, totally. You're so right that friendship is a great first step. Did you enjoy the concert tonight? Did it persuade you to be an ally for low-blood rights?
You think that going by your blood color and how often you have almost gotten killed by those more powerful on this planet, you're more like a member of the oppressed underclass than you are an ally. But you decide not to split hairs and just tell him that yes, you'll be an ally to yourself.
That's fantastic. I'm so happy to hear that. If you're an ally to low-bloods, then I'll allow you to be my mate spirit.
Friend, you correct him. You can be his friend.
Right, sure, yep. I meant to say friend.
He lets go of your hand finally, which at least counts for a partial victory, and winks. Victory!
Fucking hate this guy.
He's special!
Yeah, special is a word for it.
Alright, time to put him on the rating list. Rating. Did I say waiting? I meant to say rating.
No, you said rating.
Oh, thank God. I didn't know if I did that thing where I pronounce like a R as a W or something. Ash, that is a understandable reaction.
What did Ash say? I can't really look at the chat right now.
It's like a warning symbol. Not quite an emoji,
yeah.
but it's a symbol.
Yeah, no, I get you.
He's going in, not really a fan. I have kind of a... I would like him ironically. I would not like him seriously if he was real. He would probably piss me off.
He'd piss me the fuck off too. I'd fight him.
I wouldn't go that far because I'm weak as shit. But, you know.
I don't care if I'm weak as shit. I'd just fight him. To be fair, my troll Sona is also really strong, so...
I mean, technically mine would be too, if we're going by Nya-san's troll Sona.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Did not mean to do that. Whoops. I drew something. I'm gonna DM it to you.
Okie dokie. Since it's already gone on for 2 hours and 30 minutes, that is probably going to be our last route for tonight. So hopefully next time we will get through volume 6 and maybe 7, or at least part of it. Volume 6 has my favorite characters, Cuprum and Follicle, in it. So I'm looking forward to that. Volume 9 has some good characters too. Um, let's see. In 16, Fawzer is getting mogged by Marvis. Oh, I unlocked the epilogue. I don't know if I actually read the epilogue. So I'll do that
That would
off
explain
stream.
some things.
Some things about what I know, or it would just explain more things to me.
It would explain some things about like your understanding of some of the characters.
Uh, Alright, let me... God damn it, I keep accidentally moving my goddamn background when I mean to move the window. Yeah, that makes sense. He's kind of a very hated character. Again, it's rare to see people who like him, but I think, for some people it's ironic. For some people, they just like incel characters. And, some people like the idea of being coddled, like, I guess how he would. I don't know, people have their types, I guess. I can't really say too much. I'm not that bad, but I'm not also that great either when it comes to taste. Cause, like, for example, I like Randall Ivory, and he's special. I'll say that much. To be fair, he's not really. Oh fuck! Sorry, I made my avatar freak out. He's not really a normal human. He's like an entity, an entity. I'm trying to think of like a character that's kind of bad, but I still like them. It's hard to think off the top of my head. I know I like a lot of villains. Um, I'd say Gashly from My Hero Academia, but no one knows who the fuck that is. Besides, like, Latte. Because he's not just a side character, he's a background character. And he only has, like, 2, maybe 3 panels in the entire manga. Therefore, he's not going to get mentioned in the anime at all. I can say that much. I would be surprised if he's even there. Uh, but enough about my nerding. I guess I should probably get off. Um, Gashly, he's one of the villains who was in, the prison in My Hero Academia. My dear wizard friend, do you have anything to say to the chat before we log off?
Zebra fucking sucks. Humopunk for the win.
Hemopunk for the win.
Humopunk is essentially what punk is for our universe, but
Oh.
for trolls and resisting like the societal norms of the different castes.
Is that what Marvis does, or does he just rap?
He just raps.
Does Trixie do it? I feel like she would be punk, but I don't know. I think Daria might be.
Yeah, Dario is more likely to.
Yeah. She looks punk. Alright. Ending screen. I think there's like a dancing gif on like every screen I have, besides like my BRB screen. Alright. Thank you guys for stopping by. If Fel ends up not making it to the end screen, sorry. Uh, good night, everyone. おやすみなさい、皆さん。愛してるよ。
Bye bye.